Well, hello again. This is Rebecca.
This is Burnett.
And we're here for another channeling session. We are going to get right to it and see who's here. Who's here?
Donald.
Donald. How old are you, Donald?
I don't know how old I am. I'm fairly old, I guess. I've been around a long time.
So what part of the country did you live?
Jackson, Mississippi, around that town.
Do you know about what year? Can you remember a year
I know
that you lived?
it was 1876 when they told me my services weren't needed anymore.
So were you born, or you were a slave, I would assume.
I was.
Were you born into slavery?
Yes, I was.
Do you remember the plantation that you worked on, or who you worked for, or who owned you?
That's a lot of questions, man.
Okay.
The plantation was a large enough one, but he wasn't the biggest one.
Okay.
Mr. Brown. And I stayed there from the time I was about 30 something, I guess, until after we were set freed. And they had us stay on to work because they still needed the field hands, and I did that for a while until I got sick. And they had no reason to keep me. They didn't own me. I was free.
So, what kind of life did you have before the end of slavery?
I was a slave.
What was it like for you?
I worked from the time I woke up in the morning after I had my biscuits until I probably went to bed at night.
Did you have children? Did you have a wife?
We couldn't marry on that. We couldn't legally marry. I guess I had a wife, so to speak, but I didn't consider it. From what I know now, we wasn't really married. But we did have a couple of kids.
Okay. So once you were freed, you continued to work on the plantation.
Yes, for a while I did.
What was it like being freed and still working on the plantation?
Not much had changed. We still worked the same times. Only difference was we had payment in form of food and shelter and clothing, and we got a little bit of change.
That was it?
That was it. And if you didn't want it, well, you could leave, but where was you gonna go? We didn't have nothing, we ain't had nothing, where were we gonna do?
So once you were told that your services were no longer needed, what did you do?
Well, I tried to stay on. I told them I could do something else, anything else. I mean, by that time I was old and I was getting sick, sicker and sicker. My lungs was bad, my throat was bad. I was constantly coughing. What was I gonna do? Who was gonna take me? I was old and sick, and they didn't want me. Nobody want me.
So, did you have anyone to help you?
No, at that time, nobody had nothing. Nobody helped me. Nobody could help me. Nobody would take me in. I went and stayed with a family who they said they needed somebody to just feed the hogs sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That was all I could do. I fed the hogs. I fed some of the chickens. I worked outside sometimes, but it wasn't enough to pay for nothing. They gave me, some food every day and a couple cents for my pocket.
Did you have a place to live? Did you live with that family?
Well, they had a little barn-like thing in the backyard where the animals slept, and I slept in there with them.
Was this a white family or was this a black family?
This was a white family.
Mm.
It was hard. It was hard. I wasn't the only one who caught it like that. It was hard for us. We were just set free with nothing.
Mm.
That's why I'm here today. Tell you that. They set us free with nothing. What was I supposed to do? I was sick and I was old. All I knew how to do was be a slave.
Mm. I'm so
And
sorry.
they let me get sick. They ain't give me nothing to make me better. All I could do was get sicker and sicker and sicker.
So sorry to hear that. How long did you live? After, do you remember what was the last year that you can recall?
I think it might have been 1884 or 85.
Okay.
Most likely around then. And at that time I was so bad that, I had fallen over in the street. I was so sick, and they finally had to take me to a little hospice. They put me in the back room where we were allowed to be. And they cared for me till I transpired on.
Were you alone when you transpired?
Yeah, the rest of my family. My daughters, the ones I had with my wife,
Mm-hmm.
they had been already sold off. My wife, well, the missus didn't like her none too much because she was purty. She was purty.
Mm.
So she didn't like her none too much, and they sold her off. That's why I said I wasn't really married, because they wouldn't have sold her off if I was.
Oh, okay. So you had no one.
No, I had nobody. Nobody.
That had to be very hard.
It was hard. It was hard. But I tell you one thing. I got everybody now. I got them now.
How was that?
Well, my wife is on here. My daughter's on here.
Okay. So,
But I just wanted y'all to know, they just set us free with nothing. Nothing. What we gonna do?
but
I couldn't read. I couldn't write. I didn't know no numbers. What was I gonna do? And at that age, it was too late to learn. Now those younger ones, those younger boys, they could learn. They could learn. Yeah, they had a chance. They could learn. I was too old. By that time, I was about worn out.
I'm so sorry. What did you learn from that lifetime?
You don't want truth. You want truth.
Yes, I want your
Truth is, can't trust nobody sometimes. You got to make sure you take care of yourself. You get what you need to survive and to live and take care of yourself.
Yes.
If you know how to do something, learn how to do it better. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to learn something better. Don't be afraid. Had I known what was coming with that war, I would have learned some new things before I had left that plantation. I would have learned some things before slavery had ended so that I could sell myself and make some money. And even when I was sick, I could do some work. I could do something.
Yes.
But I ain't had nothing. All I knew was picking. That's it. Anybody could feed a hog.
Yes. Yes. Wow. So, do you have any? Well, I guess that would be a regret. So.
I do. I regret that I didn't learn something I could have used. Because I was a man. I wanted to be a man. I wanted to be my own man. I couldn't be my own man.
Well, that's a message for us today and for young men in our communities to learn something because you don't know what's coming.
Ain't that the truth? We don't know what's on the other side of wherever you are.
Yes.
You don't know what's down the road. We showed that we didn't know what was happening till it was right on us. And then suddenly they said we free.
And you were not given any land or anything?
No.
At all?
They basically said, you free. If we use you, good. If we don't need you, you're going to have to figure out your own way.
I cannot even imagine. That had to be difficult.
They just set us up.
Well, Donald, I thank you for coming and sharing your story.
You
to
will.
let us know what it was like for some after slavery.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. This country's very proud to see that slaves were set free, but you're letting us know that there was another part.
Yeah, they make them, talk about those people who they got, some of them went into office, they got those elected positions. Well, that was not many. That wasn't the main of us.
Yes.
That may be, I don't know, a couple people. I don't know, but that wasn't main of us.
Yes. There were many, many slaves in our country. And yes, you're right. But thank you for coming and sharing your truth. We will share this with others.
Thank you.
And I pray that if there's anything that has been left unsaid or unhealed, I pray that you will be healed and that hopefully giving you this voice will help to give you some peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
With that, I will allow you to step back. We're grateful for Donald stepping forward to share his truth and his story with us. We're grateful for those who are open to receiving it. May healing, love, and light be received by Donald, those hearing it, and all on the other side who participated in his event. Let love and peace make us all one.